Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. The movie begins with a glimpse of the Six Cs, an elite organization of enforcers composed of only 6 men and women, whose names are unknown. Six Cs was founded to ensure security and order at the request of Southeast Asia's triads, who are currently at their pinnacle of power. The triad controls 80% of illegal smuggling in Asia, where they make tremendous profits from drug weapons and women trade. Moving to a dusk atmosphere on a desolate beach. Reina, a young girl, has recently awoken from a coma, with her body covered in blood. When Reina went towards her hamlet on the beach, she observed a group of armed persons slaughtering the inhabitants, including her parents. Soon, a Six Cs member named Ito gets his gun, and shoots Reina, the last remaining villager. He sympathized and felt bad for her when he saw her shaking with terror and alone, after all of her family had died. Ito unexpectedly turned against the Triad warriors, who massacred and killed all of the people. He then abducted Reina, and fled to his hometown of Jakarta. When he arrived, he brought Reina to Shinta's house. Shinta, his girlfriend, inquired about Reina, and told that she assumed he had perished, because he had been missing for 3 years. He couldn't go into more detail with her, since he didn't want to imperil her life. Shinta calls in Fadi, who used to be in the gang with Ito, after treating Ito's injuries. Fadi wonders why Ito was so determined to break the Triad's commands by protecting Reina. They had plenty of time to trust him after 3 years of working for the Triad. He stated that Ito's treason had spread, and that it was now up to them to discover him. Ito tells Fadi all he wants is to get out of the country, and find Reina a secure hiding place. As a result, he required money as well as a new identity for himself and Reina. Because Ito did not want to jeopardize Fadi and the others' safety, he asked him to keep his whereabouts hidden from their teams. However, their crews were apparently aware of Ito, and he informed that the only remaining gang members besides himself were Vishnu and Bobby. Because Ito worked for the Triad, Fadi inquired about Aryan's whereabouts, another of their gang member. Ito informed that Aryan currently resides in Macau, where he manages a Triad-owned nightclub. Aryan was working at the nightclub despite knowing that some of the male patrons had abused one of the waiters. When he heard this, he intervened instantly to slay them ruthlessly, since he didn't want some random crooks causing trouble at his workplace. Following that, Aryan received a call from a Six Cs member, Chen Wu, who informed him of the betrayal of a Six Cs member Ito, who had slain the Triad soldiers to save Reina. He then requested Aryan's assistance in killing Ito, to become a new member of the Six Cs enforcers. Aryan accepted the offer since he was intrigued. On the trip to Jakarta, Aryan reflected on his past, when he and Ito were accepted into the Triad, and swore to serve them for the rest of their lives. When Aryan arrived in Jakarta, he was met by 2 ladies, Alma and Elena, who worked as enforcers for Chen Wu and the Triad. Chen Wu told Aryan that the beach massacre was necessary as retribution, since the villagers were known to have taken illegal substances from the Triad, and attempted to sell them to other parties. He asked Aryan to murder Reina because she was the lone eyewitness to the Triad's killing. If she was not handled appropriately, her presence may have caused issues for them. Chen Wu then informed Aryan that the Triad would have a presence in Jakarta. If he was successful in killing Ito and Reina, Chen Wu would hand over the business to him. Back to Fadi's flat, where Ito and Reina are posing for passport photos. Bobby then informed Ito that one of their comrades, Johan, had betrayed them, and stolen all of their money. Johan, who operated a butcher shop, worked for Triad to expand the drug trade in and around Jakarta. Ito went to Johan's butcher business because he needed money. Johan, who was previously aware of Ito's position in Jakarta, attempted to divert his attention so he could steal his gun. Ito, on the other hand, had already attacked Johan and aimed his revolver at him. Johan surrendered and said he will give him the money if he is threatened with guns. However, the money was kept in a safe in the shop. Johan's men had obviously prepared their weapons to assault Ito, in order to trap him. There was a furious fight going on. Despite facing Johan's soldiers alone, Ito was able to overcome them all and pursue Johan. Johan finally gave Ito the money he demanded, and informed him that he had dispatched all of his men to Fadi's residence, to assassinate Reina. A gang of corrupt police officers bribed by the Triad arrived not long after. They were able to incapacitate Ito, then arrest him and murder Johan. Meanwhile, Johan's men were observed arriving at Fadi's flat fully armed. Bobby, who was already aware of their presence, instructed Sheena to go. He managed to kill 2 of Johan's men in the elevator, and took 2 iron plates and hid them under his shirt, before approaching Fadi's flat. He immediately barged inside Fadi's apartment, where Fadi and his colleagues were encircled by Johan's men. They engaged in furious combat. Despite being just 3 of them, they were able to overcome Johan's men, who were considerably more numerous than them. Fadi asked Bobby where Shinta was, and instructed her to run as far away from them as possible. Johan's men returned not long after, and the number of them had grown to the point where the three of them were completely overrun. Arian was inside his car, witnessing the events in Fadi's apartment complex. He appeared to be waiting for the appropriate time to assault Fadi and the others. Meanwhile, Ito, who had just awoken from his trance, attempted to release himself from his shackles. He then fought the crooked officers who captured him, and attempted to flee. He finally defeated the dishonest cops after a grueling fight in a tiny police car at high speed, and hurried to Fadi's flat, as Reina's life was in danger. Chen Wu ordered Alma, Elena and the Triad soldiers to kill Fadi and the others, after Johan's men failed to do it. Elena arrived first, accompanied by 3 Triad soldiers. She confronted Bobby, who was willing to die fighting the Triad, while his companions tried to save themselves. Bobby was no match for Elena, a professional assassin, and would be easily defeated. Vishnu, who was attempting to flee with Reina, was confronted by Alma. She was also a skilled assassin, and killing Vishnu came easily to her. Fadi felt enraged after witnessing this in front of his eyes, and attempted to attack Alma. Fadi, who was already fatigued, appeared to be overwhelmed by her. Arian arrived not long after and stopped Alma from killing Fadi. A furious conflict erupted between 2 Triad enforcers with exceptional combat skills. Arian managed to immobilize Alma and render her unconscious. Fadi deduced that Arian was the one who gave Johan and the Triad his address. Arian claimed he had no other option. He then tried to persuade Fadi to accompany him, reconstructing everything from the ground up, rather than being slaughtered in vain. Fadi was enraged to hear his remarks, because Arian had indirectly slain his buddies. He fired his rifle, nearly hitting Arian, and dashed to carry Reina away. The Triad soldiers arrived and stopped Fadi from taking Reina away. Fadi went up to Reina, and ordered her to hide in a secure area, while he faced the Triad warriors. The gunfight erupted once more. Fadi, however, was the one who perished in the end. When the Triad soldiers approached him to ensure he was truly dead, they were abruptly fired at by a strange lady, known only as the operator. She checked Fadi's health and confirmed he was dead. Ito arrived shortly after the operator had left, and was astonished to discover all of his buddies had been slaughtered. Reina emerged from her hiding location after learning about Ito's arrival. Ito hastened to get her out of there. He then contacted Shinta and requested that she leave Jakarta immediately, and not return to her residence for a period of time. Ito and Reina then returned to Shinta's apartment, where she recounted Fadi's final remarks, claimed they never regret accomplishing anything, and encouraged her to be braver. Elena becomes enraged when Arian arrives at Chen Wu's house, intending to assault him in retribution for having attacked Alma. Chen Wu stopped Elena and requested that Arian have a one-on-one conversation with him. Chen Wu then told Arian that he had targeted Fadi, Bobby, Vishnu and Johan because they had previously been members of Arian and Ito's gang. Chen Wu contended that if Arian wanted to become the 6 Cs, he had to forget about his family and friends. He then gave him one more chance to slay Ito, before offering him a spot on the 6 Cs. Arian accepted the offer, but he wanted to take over the Triad operation in Jakarta from Johan. Chen Wu agreed to the requirement. Ito was approached by the operator at Shinta's residence, who promptly attacked him. The two of them engaged in heated combat. The operator cornered Ito and pointed a gun at his head. However, just as the operator was ready to execute Ito, Reina emerged and begged not to. Still, the operator sat down with Ito, her gun drawn. The operator was already aware of Ito and the 6 Cs, and inquired why he protected Reina when the Triad ordered the deaths of all the villagers. He revealed that being the 6 Cs was a Triad killing machine. They would only face death and would invariably kill everyone they targeted. When Ito spotted Reina, his conscience began to awaken, and he realized he might change his fate by saving her. After hearing it, the operator chose not to murder him, and left. The next day, Arian appeared to recall his time with Ito and his friends. Ito beat Bobby at the time for dealing with the Triad by selling stuff. Bobby, on the other hand, claimed that he was solely interested in assisting his group financially, because they would make a lot of money if they sold stuff. Ito and Arian then discussed and agreed to leave their gang in secret, and join the Triad to protect Bobby and the others, who were being slaughtered by them. Returning in the present, Arian contacts Ito, and requests that he meet him at the warehouse near the harbor, which had previously served as the base camp for their group with Fadi and the others. Soon after, the operator returns to Ito and confesses that her purpose is to assassinate the 6 Cs. She informs him that Arian had assembled the Triad troops in the warehouse to assassinate him. Ito intends to end everything by going directly there. As a result, he requests that the operator guard Reina while he fights Arian. He arrives at the warehouse near the waterfront, where the Triad troops await him, and fights them fiercely. Chen Wu directs Elena, Alma and numerous Triad soldiers to assassinate Reina in Shinda's apartment. However, the operator kills all of the Triad warriors. She finally meets Elena and Alma, and a battle between the women is unavoidable, although the operator eventually kills them. Arian also kills the sharpshooter assigned by Chen Wu to assassinate Ito. They ultimately meet after Ito has killed all of Arian's men, and Arian blames Ito for their friends' deaths. When he assures Ito that he would replace him in the Six Seas, Ito tells that Chen Wu is only exploiting him. Arian, on the other hand, doesn't seem to mind, and attacks him. A ferocious close-range combat between the two erstwhile buddies, who are now adversaries, but Ito eventually outmatches Arian. He declines to murder him, and simply departs. Arian then fires several shots at Ito, but none of them strike him. Chen Wu comes not long after, and is unhappy at Arian for failing to murder Ito. Arian attempts to murder Chen Wu, but runs out of ammo. Chen Wu then directs that he be executed there, by 6 hitmen led by Arian's aide. The operator securely brings Reina to Ito and departs. Ito puts Reina on a departing ship, but does not board himself. After saying their goodbyes for the last time, Ito gets into his car, and notices Chen Wu and other Triad soldiers in front of him. Ito accelerates his car toward them as they open fire, grinning savagely. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Turn on the notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out.